Jamel, let's get it.
Real Baltimore shit right there.
Hey, that was my best one, man. I can't remember even doing that shit for like the longest time, but welcome back to Baltimore no more?
Yeah.
Welcome
up,
back.
dummy? How you feel, dummy?
Dummy. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Hunt Club podcast. Once again, this is episode 13. 13. Mike, it's 13.
Oh shit, what's going on?
Treyway
shit.
Nigga, why are you? All right, to my left, I got Jamel.
What up? Welcome back.
To my right, I got the nigga that's always fucking up, Mike.
Only after 45 minutes. Hello, world.
Yeah, once he has that drink. And then we have a special guest with us today. We have, coming from, I'm going to say it, Dirty Jersey. Dirty Jersey.
She stole at least 3 cars.
Nothing much. So we got a lot of shit to talk about. It's been a crazy past 2 weeks all over, from politics to music to fucking life. So we're gonna jump right into it. First off, how was you guys' Father's Day? For Mike,
Mike wouldn't know.
I mean, Mike got some kids out there. I know that.
I'm pretty sure Mike does.
I know that nigga pulling out, man. Huh?
Look, my pullout game is A1, right?
Bullshit.
But Jordan never scored 100% per game, nigga. That's just a myth.
So it's little kids with that bush running around.
I don't know who they are.
Some little
in Miami.
And with a fake name.
Some bow-legged kids walking around.
Bow-legged kids, right.
How about you, Jamel? What did you do for your Father's Day?
If I get a baby put on me, I'm gonna fuck y'all up.
Nigga, it ain't that bad, bruh.
Shit.
Well, my Father's Day was cool.
Right.
It was actually one of my favorite Father's Days to date. Had the boys, went and ate breakfast. After that, we saw The Incredibles, which I loved. You know, that was for me and the kids.
That was just for adults.
Yeah, I saw mad adults in that movie. It was probably more adults than there were children.
Absolutely.
And I mean, it was a really good movie. Just what I thought was funny. You haven't seen it yet, right, Austin?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Sade, have you seen it?
No.
Mike, have you seen it?
Yeah, no spoilers
God
today.
damn it. Well, I'm not going to spoil it, but I just thought it was funny at the beginning of the movie. They apologized. Like, they had all of the real-time actors, like Samuel L. Jackson and, you know, everybody who played the family, apologize for the delay in the movie.
For what?
What kind of guilt shit
It was
is
the
that,
craziest shit I've ever seen. It was like, you know, we're sorry, but animation takes time, and with that time, we have to draw it out. And after you draw it out, you have to put it in the computers and write the story.
Dumb as shit.
I was
No.
like, you didn't owe that to us. I know it's been 14 years, but like, you ain't owe us an apology. Like,
I think they did. You know how many?
14 years is a long time, though.
But they didn't owe us a sequel. Like, the first one was straight. Like, how many times have you seen an apology for a sequel? How long, you know, movies has been spread out that they apologize?
Maybe
like, the
it's
backlash was that bad that
Maybe it's trash.
Samuel L. Jackson had to say, I'm sorry?
But no, what I'm saying is, do you realize how many middle-aged white women wrote Pixar or whoever wrote it letters of anger and shit like that? Like, where the fuck is My Incredibles 2?
Right,
Let me talk to your manager and shit like that. Yeah.
Talk to the manager.
It's taking so long and shit. So yeah, so I can feel they had to apologize. But what else?
But then after that, we went to the playground and I just got them tired out, and it was just a day of me, I got celebrating being a dad. I know some dads celebrate by not having their kids and going out and drinking and, you know, being with their other dads, but I don't, you know, I don't see my kids.
Do bars have Father's Day specials?
Fuck
They
no.
should.
I don't get no love.
But I was just, you know, I was just happy just to be with them and just spending
Any
as much time
macaroni
with them.
necklaces or some shit like that?
I did. I actually got a Father's Day card from Jalen, my oldest, and I hung up in my office.
Was his spelling correct? That's
I know, right? Huh?
Was his spelling correct? That's
Yeah,
my question.
this shit ain't legit unless
my son is smart, motherfucker.
this shit ain't legit unless it's like 4 letters upside down and backwards.
Yeah, I mean,
and shit
it
like
was like mad spaced out. His name it has 5 letters, but it took like half the page of shit. But shout out to JJ.
But me, I just chilled, man. I went out a few times. But no, I had a really good Father's Day. I'm like an old man now. So anytime that I'm just like staying in the house, of course I spend time with my daughter. But anytime I stay in the house and not in fucking traffic, I'm good. I did some cargo short shopping and shit, and some Jesus sandals and shit. I'm about to make that shit legit, nigga.
So do dads shop from themselves on Father's Day and mothers get gifts?
Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
Like, if you get a gift as a father, consider yourself fucking lucky.
Yeah,
like,
lucky.
Right.
Yeah. How about you, Sade? What'd you do for Father's Day?
My dad lives in New Jersey, so
Oh, you got
we
off
ain't really do
easy.
nothing. We not on good terms right now,
Oh,
so
okay.
I feel like moms get more attention than fathers on Father's Day.
Oh, they definitely do. You
So
got
how
a
do
single
you-
mom post.
Yeah. So how do y'all feel about that? And that's a good point. So all right. So let's say for example,
I'm a fur daddy.
nigga, that's another whole nother topic, right? So,
That's my pet peeve too. I have a whole half a show about that shit.
But let me just ask, when it is a single mother, let's say throughout the entire year, she's definitely on her shit. You can't knock her for that. She's handling, the kids and everything like that. Do you think she deserves, no matter how well she took care of the kids with no father figure in that, do you think she deserves to even make a comment on Father's Day? Does she get to have the salty posts?
No,
does she...
it's for dads. Whether you were unfortunate enough to have a father that hasn't been in your child's life, it's for the dads who have been in their children's life. Like it's not your day. You have Mother's Day.
Right.
Celebrate that, and just stay off social media or don't make don't make the bitter posts. But it's not for you.
Since you guys have kids, do you think in those situations where a mother makes a negative comment about father not being involved, how does it affect the kids? Or from a parent standpoint, like you don't want your kids to be exposed to that because we're in a social media age, so those kids eventually will grow up and see that post.
Right. Well,
Maybe.
Well, my dad is real petty. He made a post yesterday or whatever day Father's Day was saying nobody got him anything. Like, I'm the oldest out of all my brothers and sisters, and I always do something for him. This year I didn't, but he wanted to be petty and go in there and make a post before I could.
It's not for the
That shit
petty.
hurt,
It's just to
man.
celebrate being a dad. Like the heck, make the happy post.
Well,
and
I
leave the
texted
bitter
my dad
post.
and said Happy Father's Day, and he responded and
He
said,
got a
"Where's
text,
my
that's
car
something.
payment?"
Oh damn!
Made me mad.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I get where if you're the only parent, and I mean, especially because some girls see people that don't know the whole situation, congratulating a father that's not there, and I can see you getting salty then and like, this nigga don't do shit. Why you saying Happy Father's Day to him? But still,
not your
yeah, like
business.
just wait the
it
next
alone.
day to shit on him.
You just
know what I'm saying?
it just makes you look bad just being bitter on Father's Day.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but I mean, I'm sure that we had great Father's Days, but I mean, there's people on the border in Mexico not having good Father's Days. You got Trump splitting up families, ruining Father's Day for a lot of people. Like that's crazy. Like that shit is.
I mean, yeah, that's definitely been all over the news, and so what's going on is, so for people that are actually coming into, well, what I'm hearing is that the families that are getting split up, they're not technically coming over the border illegally. They're like coming in and just trying to meet up with Border Patrol, and they're saying, hey, yeah, you're not here, you didn't go through the following steps. So what's happening is the government is turning people away, right? And they're trying to find asylum here in America for whatever reason. The government is turning people away, whether it's they're not ready to process them for whatever reason. And people are saying, you know what, we're going to go through a different avenue to get here, but then we're still going to try to do it the right way, some of them. So what Republicans and Trump is saying is that once they get here, then the process, whether they're criminals or whatever, they're splitting women and the fathers away from the children. They're putting these children in like fucking prison camps and empty warehouses, or like Fox likes to call it, buildings with
Summer
fence
camp, that's
walls.
what they
and,
call it.
yeah,
Like
right,
a summer camp. Like
Yeah,
they're like it's just as good as summer camp. Like you fucking kidding me?
So with Father's Day passing and people celebrating what people take for granted is the fact that they can spend these holidays with their kids and they don't have to worry about being split up from that family and stuff like that. So I mean, me personally, when I see it, and this country is kind of the history of the country of where, whether it's black people, whatever, they split the parents from the kids. So it's sad that in 2018 we're still seeing that, and it's like still predominantly on the news and stuff. So
It's said that that people try to justify
right.
this. Now, why kids are being separated from their parents is it's a law that's from like the 50s or some shit, some immigration law, and apparently we haven't enforced such law so it was kind of legal under like fucking Bush, under Clinton, under Obama to separate the parents from the child, because the parents are entering the judicial system, so we're holding them in the judicial system and the kids aren't. So that's why they're being separated, because we're persecuting the parents and then they're going through the criminal justice system, but it hasn't been enforced.
Right.
So
Yeah,
now it's being enforced, and now we see the effects of it and how terrible it is. And it's sad that people try to justify somebody ripping a child away from their parents when all the idea of them doing what they're doing is trying to make a better situation for themselves. They're not hurting anybody. They're not doing anything egregious. They just want to be out of one situation, which is worse for them and their child, and enter a better situation.
Go ahead. Jamel, Sade.
No, I mean, Mike pretty much said it all. I mean, it's just heartbreaking, just being a dad and being with my kids, and then seeing I think on the news they were releasing the audio of the 2-year-old crying for her parent, and the most fucked up part is not only are they separating the kids, but they're losing track of them.
Right,
so they
right,
can't
right.
even reunite them after the fact. Like could be lost forever, and they're just shipping them to different parts of the country to never be reunited with your family. Is just
So quite
heartbreaking, man. So
for what do you think of people that agree with this, that defend Donald Trump and saying, oh, now all of a sudden we're enforcing this policy. We weren't enforcing this law before, but now we're enforcing it, and now it's the right thing to do. I saw one Donald Trump supporter on fucking CNN, I believe, and they were telling the situation, oh, he was ripped from his child. The child has a mental illness, and the nigga was like, womp, womp, womp. I'm like, God, damn, nigga, what the kind of fucking...
you can say that hasn't been already said. I mean, they pieces of shit. So, I mean, I can't say it any other kind of way. Like,
you can say big piece of shit.
Right. Just trash. He's a trash human being.
It just shows... I mean, it just shows privilege, because at the end of the day, you can say whatever you want about it because you know it's never going to happen to you.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know you're not ever going to spend a Christmas, or you're never going to spend a Father's Day without your child, because you are who you are. You have some type of, pull or stature in this country where you can't even fathom the fact that somebody would take your children away from you, or you would go to jail for X amount of years for a petty crime like that, because your privilege is just not. It's kind of like you mad, but then you're not mad at the same time, because mentally they can't even, process somebody separating them from their child, and they
never seen them again.
Right, never seeing them again. So that shit is fucked up, especially around Father's Day. But Trump doing what Trump has to do. He saved the day, and he, the president, he signed.
He did do a good thing. Or not you can't.
He righted his own wrong.
Yeah, that's right. You can't never. I take that
like
back,
he kidnapped the kids, and he wants us to thank him for releasing the kids.
You can't put the condom on after you bust a nut. What's the point?
That's defeat the purpose and shit.
Totally
But
defeats the purpose.
I'm gonna say something real corny as the transition, but this whole shit.
He cracking himself up already.
Exactly.
This whole situation, man, I'm upset.
Oh,
Anybody?
God, that's fucking terrible. That's god awful.
Anybody see the Drake video, man? I was like, this shit is gonna kill it, nigga. I'm upset.
Yeah, I'm so.
You
Drake
guys
video.
get it?
I
Why y'all
saw
not
it.
laughing?
I mean, I get it, but it's still terrible.
So how you guys feel about it? All right, so
number one, I never watched Degrassi. Hands up, who watched Degrassi?
go ahead. You already put it
I
up.
never watched
This one.
I thought you probably gonna say who watched the video, but I watched the video. But yeah, I couldn't connect because I didn't watch.
I mean, I didn't
Degrassi.
get it.
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
sure.
I
I'm
kinda
sure
got it
it was
towards the end,
dope. Like if you watch
That's
the show and
Degrassi,
see everybody
yeah.
grown up, everybody likes to see when everybody's grown up reunion type shit. But
Like if a fucking name it so
like
show,
Boy Meets World or some shit like
if
that.
they did a
They did that.
Or
shit.
Keenan and Kel or something like that. When they did that skit on SNL, that was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Oh no, that's All That. When All That did
All That did it. Yeah. So
that's-
I mean,
that's
but
cool.
I just didn't watch Degrassi. But some people were like, oh my god.
Right. So do you think that
Degrassi
shit was kind of?
Canadian thing.
Do you think that
Canadian
it-
thing, right?
I don't know.
No, it was over. It was big over. It was people that watched. It was people that got excited.
No,
but
real
does
niggas.
that negate the whole Pusha T killing that nigga though?
No,
but look, I did
can't
say,
put wool over
but I
niggas'
did
eyes.
say before this shit happened that Drake would drop something and we might forget about it.
Nigga,
Nobody
I didn't forget
forgot about
that
it.
shit.
Nigga, fucking is that dominating?
Oh yeah,
the
don't
news
take
right
us.
now?
Don't
Is that
use
dominating the news right now?
Don't use nostalgia to make us forget you got killed and you got a son that you ain't taking care of and shit.
That bitch bad though.
That's debatable, nigga.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Man, shit,
I'm just trying to defend my point.
I definitely did my research though. I definitely went to Tube Galore and shit.
damn
What kind
right.
of work we could, and
For
I
research purposes, definitely.
absolutely.
And World
absolutely.
Star dropped a throwback from when she was a vixen on that bitch.
That shit was trash.
I mean, but nigga, get the job done. Especially if you're on break. That's only 30 minutes.
But no, I mean, all right. So you saying that didn't?
No.
Okay. All right. So moving on with the music though. So we had a shit ton of albums.
Nigga, you
Anyways.
still did.
Nah, because I
Drop the album.
I just find it weird. Like, and people, like you said, people knew he was gonna come out and come out with a, something to kind of take away the focus of the fact that he got murdered and shit. But I didn't think a Degrassi reunion would be something that would
I'm
do
pretty
that
sure you
for him.
pronounced that incorrectly, but whatever.
Are we in English
a
class
fuck.
right now?
Yeah, who gives a fuck?
Okay,
It's the grass.
All right, but other music that dropped. So again, June was we were all looking forward to June. We had Kanye. It was supposed to be Kanye's month. We had Kanye's album came out. Kids See Ghosts came out.
Nas's album dropped.
Nas's album dropped. So hopefully you guys listen to it, Mike.
I think it was kind of Kanye's month. Because think about it.
It was Yeezy season.
It's
He
definitely
produced all
Yeezy
of them.
season because he was a producer on Kids See Ghosts.
He's producing all of
He
them.
produced all the albums.
And what is your favorite track from all of them? From Nas's shit, I didn't listen to all of Nas's shit, but my favorite thing is Everything with fucking Kanye on it.
That was probably my least favorite.
Nigga, Everything?
Yeah, it was kind of corny to me. I don't like songs like
Bullshit.
that. So my favorite songs, White Label, Adam and Eve, the cops. What's it? Cop shot the kid with the
Cop
Rick
Shot the Kid,
James
yeah, I like that.
sample. Yeah, it was. I liked it. I thought the shit was dope, and just hearing Nas on a Kanye beat, something he doesn't really do.
I don't know, Sade, did you listen
I like
to that?
it. I like
Yeah,
the
I listened
energy
to
of it.
I listened to it this morning. I like the two songs that he mentioned.
She trying to kill you,
That's my
nigga.
favorite bracelet.
What the I don't even.
I think that was a hit, boss.
All right, right.
Definitely a hit.
Nah, that's my favorite bracelet though. But I listened to the album, I like the two songs that he mentioned. I kind of feel like with them two collabing, it kind of gave Kanye West a better place in society based on when he made that comment.
I mean,
He got back good with
Slavery
niggas.
had a choice.
collabing with Nas is a good look.
Yes, it
It's
is.
a really good look.
But see, that's the thing. Like, so when I first listened to it and he was on, Cop Shot the Kid, it was kind of like, nigga, how are you gonna align yourself and say that you are a Trump fan and you wearing the MAGA hats, but then at the same time you try to switch back to 2008
He was
Kanye.
having an episode. It was
Fuck.
a bipolar episode.
Nigga,
Oh, it's 'cause
so
of
it's
the meds
No,
and
he
shit.
does not follow. That nigga does not know shit about politics or he don't know
He
that
said he
shit.
was having an episode. He was off the meds.
That shit don't count.
He's still
man.
running for president
I hope so.
in 2020.
I don't fuck.
That nigga, I mean,
I'm not
It can't be
surprised.
any
I'm
worse
not
than
surprised.
Trump. It can't be any worse than Trump. Shit, I vote for him.
I don't know
For
about all
Kanye?
that.
Yeah.
I
I'm
don't-
saying if we had the option of Trump and Kanye,
What
when I
about
vote,
Oprah?
I'm definitely voting for Oprah. But she said she's not doing it.
but I mean,
I mean,
nah,
out
I
of
wouldn't
the
vote.
three,
I wouldn't vote for Kanye.
Out of three,
As
I mean,
much as I
would
love
not
Kanye.
vote for any of the three.
You wouldn't vote for Oprah, nigga?
I mean, out of those three, I would vote for
Wow.
Oprah. I mean, Oprah. Oprah.
You want?
I mean, out of those three, I would vote for Oprah. But
Mike, one of them niggas to say, I vote for Oprah, and then he get in the booth and like, where Trump? at
Vote
and
for
shit.
Trump.
no, nigga,
Like, yo,
just that-
fuck Trump.
no, it's just that fucking I don't want popularity to dictate our fucking politics. What do you know about Oprah's stances on fucking education and healthcare?
Well, this is not an Oprah conversation. We're talking about Nas's album.
I'm
We
just
went
saying
all the way
overall.
to
Man, we
I'm
are
not
talking about
talking-
Oprah's
I think I
presidential.
started that.
Set all this
Right.
shit down.
I'm
Anyway.
just saying that's why I hate the fucking that subject of who we voting for out of the three because
We
all
voting
of
for
them are
Oprah,
shit
nigga.
options,
Everybody is
nigga.
voting for Oprah.
What does she stand on in fucking politics? You don't
Anyway, what was your favorite track off of Kids See Ghosts? So I said,
know. First of all, nigga, you told Harpo to beat me. Only the real would know.
My favorite song off Kids See Ghosts is probably Reborn. Like, I listen to that shit like
Wow, that shit bring a tear
100.
to your
Hell
eye.
yeah, I listen to that shit like 100 times and shit. And nigga,
I'm so
you ever grab that? You ever do one of these and shit?
Yeah, hell yeah, man. This shit is inspirational, man. Like, fuck this.
Yeah, I mean, but to going down, I think since the last time we spoke, I think we were waiting for Reborn to come out, and then in the time from our last show to today, so Kids See Ghosts and Nas' album came out. So me personally, I think Kid Cudi's shit. it lived up to the expectations. I wish it was more Cudi, less Kanye and that shit. But then the Nas album as well was pretty good because one, I think Nas always had good production, but like Sade said, you know, the mixture of Nas, who is like super duper pro black, and then Kanye coming off the shit that he said kind of pulled Kanye back into kind of the good graces of black people, because then he did speak on like police brutality and you know, he had that one soulful song, Everything. But my favorite songs is definitely Bonjour, because I feel like a high class nigga when I listen to that shit. I definitely
You
feel
don't speak
more
French or been to France.
Name 2 different types of cheeses besides cheddar, pepper jack, provolone, and American. Name 2 different ones.
feta and blue cheese. You said no blue cheese?
Yeah, that's cheese.
I only know feta then. But
Gouda.
Yeah, I was about to
Gouda,
say
right.
Don't help the nigga out,
Swiss.
goddamn.
Swiss, yeah.
I forgot Swiss. Swiss don't count.
Nigga, that count.
If you get it on a cheese stick, it don't count.
Well, nah. So no. I think that I think overall, all right. So overall, everything that was going into, how would you guys give the? Because it's over. I mean, Tiana Taylor come dropping. Who gives a fuck? So,
Come on. Come on. That's fucked up.
But all right.
When
So
Iman come looking for you.
all right, isn't it knocking on the door and
Yeah,
shit?
fuck.
But I'm not. So how would you guys rate the anticipation that came with the month of June and all of the Kanye drops and all of that stuff like that? Did it live up to the hype, or was it like it fall short?
I mean,
now that we're at the end of
No,
all
I think it
album
met
drops.
its expectation. Definitely.
It met my expectation
Yeah.
too. Like, I don't really know what everybody was
Yeah,
looking
my
for.
mind.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't like fucking. I wasn't like amazed. Like, if everything was like crack every track that he produced, I was like, oh, he fucking winning. But you can say he definitely had a solid month.
And you got to look at the samples that he was doing,
Yeah.
the beats that he made on, and he produced everybody's
Yep.
album. So that's what 4 albums that came out? Him, Pusha, Kanye,
and
and
Nas.
Kid Cudi, and then Nas. That's 4 albums times 7, which is what, 28 tracks?
That's a
that he
lot.
produced
Nigga,
on
don't
his
ever put my
own.
math up on that quick.
I don't know.
So-
I'm just going with.
So he
what
did
said. I
28
don't know.
tracks that were the production. I don't think anybody can complain about the production. You can say what you want about the lyrics or
Yeah.
the content, but the production was on point. 28 tracks that he did on his own. Like, I can't complain, honestly. Especially with the white label, that was my favorite. I think his best production, and if you're looking for old school Kanye, is definitely on the Nas album, the NASIR album.
I don't think he had a choice.
I
with
like the album cover for Nasir.
I mean, he had- yeah, that was
Nasir,
dope.
Yeah, I
that's
did
dope
too.
cover.
I don't think he had a choice with the Nas album.
I mean,
to
you had to
go all
come.
the
You
way
had to
in.
come correct, but that was probably the best produced out of all of them. If
So
you're looking
over
for that,
the full body of work, you think the Nas album was the best? Full
I
body.
would.
I'm Cudi. I'm more Cudi.
Yeah,
Kids See
I'm gonna go
Ghosts.
Cudi because I'm more of a
Because-
Cudi fan, but
yeah.
Nas is a close second.
Yeah,
Sade.
yeah, I'm not mad at that.
I like Nas' album because he
Nas
like what he talks about is like police brutality and everything. He
Yeah.
was on top of what's going on to society today.
I'm gonna say all of that shit was trash. I was disappointed, man. I was left like,
Nigga, what?
what?
The fuck you? The hell you talking about?
How
dare you.
Nigga,
I thought
Hey,
my
cut
fucking
Austin Michael.
Turn his levels down. This nigga
nigga-
bullshit.
man. I don't know. Like this time in June, before all of the albums came out, I thought I was gonna be fucking just head blown, confused on just too much music to fucking process. All this shit is fire. Everywhere I go, my headphones on it, and like now, what is it? The fucking whatever the 21st, and I'm kind of like, I mean, I still listen to the Nas album, but now I'm like, I'm over all of the
Do
albums
you
now,
think
and I
it-
thought it was gonna last longer.
Well,
than
that's
that.
your fault for
Yeah.
not appreciating.
Do you think
the
it's
music that he
more
put out.
That shit is not
More of the same? Like all of it kind of has the same kind of flow, where like it would have like different kinds of modes.
It just
for
ain't.
for each album.
I think what it is was my expectations were too high, bro. Like, I mean, if you look at it on paper, Pusha T, Kanye, Kid Cudi, Nas,
Oh, J and B too.
ooh.
J and B. The Carters, nigga.
We talk about the Kanye
oh, shit.
drop. Like, if you look at that on paper, nigga, and you look at their bodies of work, it would have been no way I would have been able to process old or shit that I had expected for Nas, Kanye, Pusha T, and Cudi. So when I'm here now on the 21st and all the album drop, and I'm not constantly having them shits on repeat,
Yeah.
then I'm kind of like,
And
nah,
maybe
I'm kinda,
system overload too. Like you might be getting one after another,
I'm not
another.
having that. I'm not.
You
having
can't
that.
digest
I'm not having
it.
that issue at all.
You can't
Listen to all
digest
the
it.
albums.
I think they're all solid projects, but I don't
Yeah.
think that they are like the fucking world stops. But then, like Mike was saying on Saturday, Beyonce and Jay-Z dropped the album. Was it On the Run remastered or
The
some
Carters.
shit?
And
And
the Carters.
Trap. I'm not gonna say that. I don't want to get this. But
Nigga cut off FCC Airways and shit.
But no, so they dropped that album on Saturday in the middle of the
Who
On the
listened to
Run
it?
tour. I mean, everybody
listened
listens
to
I
to it.
listened to it.
Huh?
Why would you ask that question if you ain't listen to it?
Huh?
You didn't listen to it?
Huh?
Oh, all right.
So let's dissect that. Sade, you listen to it. Are you Beehive?
Out of 5 of the 9 songs I think they had, I liked.
That's more than half. That's not bad.
It's a good free throw percentage. I mean, shooting percentage.
Are you part of the Beehive?
Somewhat.
Okay.
It's either you in or you
Somehow.
out.
Yeah,
Ain't
you
no
in or you out.
half
It's blood- yeah,
stepping
ain't no half step.
in the motherfucking Beehive, man.
Yeah, you get your, but no. So all right. So if you like 5 out of the 9, and do you think that's like all right? Beyonce and Jay-Z come out with an album. You're supposed to automatically like all 9. Do you think it
Why?
fell
Because I'm a
short?
female?
Nah, like cause that's what people expect.
what
when they
Beehive
get-
does.
Yeah, you supposed to like that shit even if you don't like it.
She fart. It's 3.5 minutes of her shitting. You supposed to love that shit.
Right.
Well, right
that's
now
what-
she seems like she turned herself into a rapper, like how she on
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of braggadocious B and suck my dick and what she said.
She said suck my dick.
She like lick my balls.
Yeah, suck on my balls.
Yeah, suck on
She
my
said
balls.
suck on my balls. Oh, you shit
I
me?
was suck my
Excuse
dick. I was like,
me,
what the
man,
fuck?
bro.
Like, you fucking queen,
Hanging out with
something
them
like
Brooklyn niggas. That's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, cause Beyonce, you know, her perception or her image is Queen Bee, and she's pristine and all this other shit, which is all well and fine. But then you go and
Do you know what
tell
happens
people
to a
suck your
queen?
dick.
You know what happens to a queen bee in the actual beehive?
No.
No, they all fuck her.
What happened?
That's a fact.
I mean,
So the
that
bees
is a
running
fact.
train.
They do run a train on. That's just. I mean, that's science, not really.
So that's what I mean. It would fit more with Lil Kim then, right?
I'm not commenting on that.
But not so. All right. So do you think it? Do you? So when it dropped, I'm pretty sure like with all like just Beyonce, Jay-Z albums, like everything shuts down. That I don't think happened this time. So do y'all think that it fell? So was it a
I think
bust?
it was an okay album.
Question to you guys that listen to the fucking album. From what's the single called?
Ape shit.
Ape Shit. Was that like? How does that rank on the 9 tracks?
No.
for-
That's probably the. I mean,
The-
it's
the
the
worst
most.
one?
It's
My
the
favorite
most.
one is Black Effect.
It's the most upbeat of the songs, but everything. Yeah, I mean, the energy is not matched in any of the other songs. So it's not the best song on the album, no, but it's the most energetic. I think that's the single. That's the one you're supposed to play in the
Yeah.
clubs or whatever. But
So Black Effect. Do you?
my favorite song was either Friends or Boss.
What's the missing?
I
Huh?
like
What's
Friends.
the album missing? Like, is it like fucking?
Oh, I mean, just listening to it, it's just it's missing a real true single. There's no Drunken Love. There's no Crazy in Love on it. There's no true like hit smash single. It's a solid effort. Like you have the GOAT rapper. You know, arguably people put Jay-Z up as the greatest rapper of all time. They
Oh,
put,
wait,
they
that's-
put
whoa.
they put
Whoa.
People. He said
I
people.
said
but-
people.
Oh,
I
he
said
did
some
say.
people.
Oh, my bad. I did.
Some people put Jay-Z as the greatest rapper of all time. Some people put Beyonce as one of the greatest pop/R&B acts of all time. So when they collab and make an album, you would think it would be like something.
Yeah.
And it's their first collab, so you would think it would be something like historic. And it wasn't a bad album.
It just
because their
wasn't-
creative teams aren't going to allow them to
Yeah.
put a trash album on. It's not a trash album.
Thriller.
But I guess the expectations were a certain way, and then it's a chill, kind of mellow, kind of feel to it. So you can play it from track 1 to 9 and just let it play, and it's not gonna be
That's
bad.
not bad though.
But it's not. Beyonce and Jay-Z have a collab
That's not
album.
the expectation,
It's two
Michelle.
goats collabing
Yeah, that's
for
not
an
the
album.
expectation.
You know what I'm saying? And you get an okay album. It's you know what I'm saying. It came and the Beehive hyped it up. You know the Jay-Z stands hyped it up, and then it kind of went away. Like you don't really hear about it like that.
Right. Now, see, the only thing that I got from listening to the album from Jay-Z was, nigga, fuck y'all for not fucking with Tidal. That's like you made like 3 mentions.
Beyonce
of
said that too. What was Beyonce line on the Lemonade shit? She like, I gotta drop Lemonade on the streaming, but I don't give a fuck about streams. Fuck y'all.
Like on Spotify.
Or
Yeah,
on
yeah,
Spotify.
the dig
Fuck
on
y'all. I was
Spotify.
like, God damn.
That's part of the
It
reason I
sound
didn't
mad
listen.
salty.
Nigga, it wasn't on Spotify. That's
Like,
part
she
of the
was
reason I didn't
sitting-
hear it.
They put it on Apple Music though.
I don't have Team Android.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, when it didn't. I don't think it really had an identity. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It was just them talking about like how everything
My
is
life
love,
is
everything
better than
is
yours.
good.
Right, right.
They back
Bragging
together
shit.
and they on good terms now.
But
So-
what kind of stood out to me on the Friends album was when Jay was talking about real friends and how he rides for his friends, Tay, and not Tay, what is it, Tata,
Tata.
and all his other friends. He didn't mention Kanye in that shit, which I thought was a little interesting. And also he mentioned in the thing, he said, "When I say my dogs, I free him. That's how Meek got his freedom." It's
Do you have some kind
what?
of
He said-
he said, when I say free the dogs, I mean it. Pretty much saying that he was behind freeing Meek Mill from jail.
He ain't get no judge switch. That's
I mean, when you see when Meek got out of jail, was Robert Kraft and the Sixers owner walked into jail. A week later, Meek is on the Sixers
jet.
owner's helicopter flying out that motherfucker to the Sixers game to ring the bell for the playoffs. I ain't see Jay there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it does take.
certain level of pull
and
you
this
got.
goes back, and this goes back to episode 10 when me and Mike were talking about Jay. I kind of went on my Jay rant about.
Kinda nigga.
Oh yeah, I went
He
on
wasn't Jay hating.
I
Goddamn.
went in on that nigga, but it kind of goes back to his covert activism, per se. Like, why, if you really freed Meek, if you really had a hand in freeing Meek, why not say that? Why do you have to mention it in a line on the song and it's kind of in passing? Why not champion that you freed Meek? Why?
Well,
aren't you?
first off, nobody believes that.
I
shit.
know
don't know
I
about
didn't
that.
believe it from when he said it, but I'm saying if you really did do it, why not say it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Why
Oh, we
not
going
take
back
the
here?
pick?
We
with
going
him?
back?
Yeah,
we
y'all
going
gonna
back
have a
here?
bunch of Brooklyn niggas waiting outside.
I'm just
of these
saying,
bitches
like, it's
crashing
just
Jay
weird.
Lee.
Like, it's certain
No.
things you can brag about title sales and subscriptions and Brooklyn Nets and all that shit. But if you freed Meek, who we say was wrongfully in prison, and you push that button to get him out, why aren't you champion that? Why are you just gonna drop a line in the song?
Yep.
And then there's no evidence. It's Robert Kraft and the Sixers owner is the ones that's by his side, not Jay. So it's either a lie
How
or
do we
why
look
are you
at people that brag about good things they do?
Yeah, I don't like stuff like that.
Exactly.
You
But
want
I'm
you looking
saying-
for credit, basically.
But Robert Kraft ain't look for credit. He was there. He chilling.
No, he
with
put
him
the
on
work in. He ain't make a statement on
So what are
Twitter.
you saying? What are
But
you
he
trying to get
never
at? Are you
does
saying,
that,
Are you
though.
saying that
He did it in silence. Real G's.
But why
moving
do it
silent.
in silence?
Because
It's
everybody
called
that
being humble,
brags
nigga.
about
The
it.
fuck?
But the whole album is them niggas not being humble.
But
So the
that's
one
a-
thing you want to be humble about is freeing
you
Meek from
contra- you
jail. That's the one thing you want to be humble
You
about.
That's part of
contradicting yourself.
rap,
So
nigga.
he mentioned it. He put it out there that he helped free Meek Mill.
Off the humble, on the humble.
Not really, because he mentioned it. So are you
He
saying
did
be
mention
humble?
it in an album with Jay-Z, with him and
He mentioned
Beyonce.
it was a line. Like,
That's,
yeah.
So what do you
at
want him
least
to do?
20
You
million
want him
people
to-
listen to that shit.
I can't say
That nigga
what I
hate Jay
want
for
him
no
to
reason.
do.
Right, I'm
But I'm
trying
just
to-
saying, like, it's weird. Like, you never really hear him like on his activism. I hear more of his braggadocious type shit more than the activism shit. So I don't know.
He's a rapper, nigga.
Damn, what kind of
Damn,
damn
shit.
shit with the
Whoa.
Damn, hold up, man. That shit got hurt.
That shit, I didn't mean to
Right
say
after,
that
right
shit.
after,
I didn't mean to say that shit.
right after
I don't even
Juneteenth,
know
that's
what
what
to
you would
hit
do?
for that. I don't,
Are you offended, Jamel? I'm
Yes.
offended in
Nah,
shit.
he should be offended.
I think
I don't know where the
my
fuck that shit came
engineers
from.
are offended by that shit. God damn.
That shit is, I said that shit completely
Bro,
wrong.
he called me a nigga.
Oh,
What the
happy
fuck-
June.
what the
happy
fuck just
Juneteenth,
happened?
man.
I don't fucking know.
Damn.
Don't make this a snippet.
Damn, his coon came out on that one, man.
Hey, he hit you with the hard ER.
Yeah,
and
I'm
shit,
fucking
man.
offended. I don't know if me and Mike can be friends anymore.
Nigga, you need to write an apology for that shit.
I think
God
that shit's
damn,
coming.
right
What the
now.
fuck? Nigga.
But no, all right. So I had a quick question.
shit.
I had a quick question too, right? So
Me too. I got a couple questions after the
Yeah,
show.
nigga,
right.
We went to square up after this, Mike.
all right,
5
with
minutes,
the
this hand's good.
all right, so with the Nas album coming out on Saturday, well, fucking Friday at 8:00 or whatever the fuck it dropped, and then Jay-Z and Beyonce coming out with the album Saturday, is that kind of fucked up that they would release an album right after the Nas and
Only
Beyonce?
because the album wasn't that great. To me personally, it didn't outshine Nas's album, but I mean to Beyonce and Jay-Z fans, it did, and you could see it as a slight, but they were in the
Right.
middle of a tour and they dropped it. But I didn't see it as a slight because I kept playing Nas's album. If Jay and Beyonce would have dropped like a classic in my eyes, then yeah, like damn, that's fucked up. You gonna drop some heat on top of Nas, but I didn't think it was that great, so I didn't really pay much attention to it. I'm still playing Nas's shit.
All right.
I didn't listen to Jay-Z's and Beyonce's.
Did you listen to 444?
Huh?
Did you? God damn, yo. All right, so
That
let me,
shit on title, dog. What the fuck you want me to do?
you can still stream, but let me ask you this question right
It's on
here.
SoundCloud.
It might be at this point. It came
They
out
dropped
like a
the
year
fucking
ago.
They dropped the Carters on SoundCloud, and I just haven't gotten around to it.
All right. Well, while we're speaking of marriage, power couples, Beyonce, Jay-Z, a big, I guess, snippet from a book, or it came out to kind of go into how guys or how men who get into marriages really don't win. It doesn't really. It's kind of like guys don't benefit from marriage. So we want to.
It was kind of like it was a Facebook post that I saw.
But I think it was an excerpt from a book.
Yeah, it was an excerpt from a book. But I mean, I kind of saw it. This particular excerpt, it was floating around on Facebook. It says, because there's nothing in it for them, what exactly does marriage offer men today? Men know there's a good chance they'll lose their friends, their respect, their space, their sex life, their money. And if all of that goes wrong, their family. They don't want to enter into a legal contract with somebody who could effectively take half their savings, pension, and property when the honeymoon period is over. Men aren't wimping out, but staying unmarried or being commitment phobes. They're being smart. So, which is
what?
It's some good points in that shit, man.
All of them shit don't make sense.
I'm sorry.
All of them at once.
Well, like, all right, so...
Well, I guess we can throw it to Sade.
Yeah, you're definitely getting out, right?
Because you're the woman.
Yeah, that's right. So we're gonna start
right here.
Like, with all that being said, right? I mean, you're a woman, and I mean, if you want to get married one day, do you think a guy is getting down on his knee for it? Do you think he loses it all? Does you think it's a huge sacrifice? Do you feel like all of that shit is jeopardized all because of you? Niggas gonna be miserable, basically.
No, I feel like love plays a big role when it comes to men getting married. I just feel like men are scared of commitment. It's not just men now. I'm told myself I'm never getting married, only because I see and I witness other marriages and they never work out. Like they get divorced.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't feel like y'all are just giving up your entire life for the female. I feel like if you marry your best friend or for somebody that you're really in love with, it can actually work out.
Jamel? Now that we got the woman's aspect, like it's gonna be all Rosie and Daisy and shit, like it goes, Jamel. Talk your shit.
Be careful.
I don't know.
Cause before you start, I just reposted the shit, and I was getting motherfucking paragraphs under my motherfucking
that's
comments
part of the
over
reason
it.
why we added it. Yeah, it got a lot of feedback. I just think from off top with just men, we view marriage differently. Like women view it, they're raised to that's part of it's part of that life goal. It's part of an achievement to get married and have that that white wedding and the rice being thrown and the extravagant wedding gowns and all that stuff. It's from the Disney movies they watch when they grow up being princesses to when they're adults. So it's something that they look to achieve. And marriage is it's a goal for men. It's not really like that. We're not really raised to to strive for marriage, and we look at it as pretty much an end of everything. Like of our youth. So I mean,
you can still live your life and be married.
But men don't think like that. They think men, being in your 20s, being crazy, and being with different girls and partying. They think when you settle down and get a family and with one woman, then that's that's the end of it. Like that's the end of most of your fun. They, you know what I'm saying? So it's we kind of dread it.
Well, I don't feel like you should get married too young. Like I got a friend of mine, he got married at 21. I feel like that's way too young. Like you didn't live your life. Like
you're still a child at 21. So yeah, just we kind of dread, because that means that's the end of our youth. That's the end of fun. It's just me and you and the marriage and the white picket fence, and that's it. It's kind of an end. It's an end to stuff, and women think of it as a beginning to life. So we look at it 2 different ways, and also men kind of get fucked in the end. I'm talking on the divorce end. I know. I'm talking just on the divorce tip. Like when men get divorced, for the most part, taking half. Custody of the kids is going to the mom. The men are paying alimony, child support, what have you. Like so financially. And with the children, they're kind of losing out. Men lose more when you get divorced as opposed to women.
The court system is set up.
Right, and the court system is set up most recently with, what's his name? The gentleman from Grey's Anatomy.
The gentleman from Grey's Anatomy.
Jesse Williams.
Jesse Williams.
What, you want to call him a nigger too?
He's definitely
The gentleman. He's a gentleman.
He's the gentleman.
But
He's
Jesse Williams, so
half-breed in his
he just got ordered to pay $100,000 in spousal support. They just bumped it up from like 50,000 or something like that. So
It went up from
stuff like that does. I mean, just because he moved on, he divorced his wife and he moved on with another young lady, and she's being bitter and she's going to drag him through the courts and hurt his pockets for moving on. So I mean, I guess the pettiness, there would be less pettiness going on if there's no marriage. Like,
You don't feel like women feel the same way? Like we giving up our...
I mean, you could on like an emotional level, but like I said, financially, just like because the courts are involved and the government's involved, like you got to give half of your, your money to your wife and pay her alimony for however long alimony goes, and you lose your children. Like the courts rarely side with men, so men have a lot more to lose than women do. For the most part, women can go into a marriage and walk out unscathed. Men can be financially ruined the most part. For the most part.
Do you think it would be even if it's like more financially equal?
But what is marriage though? Like, why can't? There's been a lot of long-term relationships that can happen without the courts being involved, about you being technically married. They got fucking Diddy and Cassie. Been doing that thing for like 11 years.
Some
That's real
females
shit.
get
That's what
married
that
just
is.
for the wedding, because it's
Right,
like,
that's what I'm saying. A lot of women do it for the
it's a
wedding,
big
but
event.
Isn't it
the marriage starts the
nostalgia?
day after the wedding.
But no, but what I think is one thing, just marriage in general, like the fact that you need a certificate to state. I mean, I know it's paperwork, and I know it has to do with all of the extra shit is hospitals and stuff like that. But I never thought that.
What hospitals?
Well, I mean, like to release.
No.
I mean, like releasing information to certain people, like your spouse and stuff like that. I know it goes deeper than just a piece of paper, but I kind of think my perception on it is when they talked about you lose friends. Say, for example, when you get married, I'm pretty sure when niggas are going out to the strip club or wherever they want to go, if they want to do some wild shit that they're not married, you always got to think about the married friend and what he can do and what shit he has to worry about.
Not really, nigga.
But that's when trust get involved.
If he gonna fucking, if he
gotta
gonna do
trust
what he
you,
gonna
you gotta
do,
trust
You can do that
he
with a
gonna-
long-term relationship too, not just a marriage. I'm talking
if you a
about
cheating ass nigga, you gonna cheat. Don't
Right.
matter if you married or not.
Yeah, like,
I don't know, but I don't know.
I think the sense of marriage is different between now and fucking 20 years ago. The idea of marriage is not as sacred, quote unquote, as it is like from 20 years ago. So somebody getting married today, the divorce rate is 50%
right.
and like fucking 50 years ago it was. Well, let's go back even further. Like, what's it? 2018? Like 100 years ago, when women didn't have rights, marriage was not. I mean, divorce was not even the fucking option. So the idea of marriage is different now than previously. So it's not as much as emotionally invested in marriage.
there's more long-term. I mean, you can have long-term relationships. I mean, and they can still be the same as a marriage.
Yeah.
Like Oprah and Stedman, not married. Been together 32 years.
Because
Goldie
marriage
Hawn-
is simply just a legal agreement.
Exactly.
That's
That's what I'm saying.
all
You can
it
have a
is.
long-term relationship with the same benefits as a marriage.
Yeah.
Outside of the, the government shit. Like,
Well,
you
that's
know
what I'm saying. Like, I mean, that gets involved, and I mean, it makes the process easier when you have that certificate saying that I'm with this person and we are legally binding together as far as information.
That's
but at
dumb.
the same, I know. I mean, it's dumb because it's.
What do you think religion plays a part into it?
I mean, yeah, that's a whole nother conversation. But I think that when guys, to go back to the original statement, what kind of pissed people off, it was basically painting the picture that guys only get married to appease their girlfriend, not because they really want to,
that's not
not because they really want to, but they're doing it to appease the women that they love. So she basically can be happy and move on, and then that way he can still be with her. But
I mean,
my
there's
thing is,
two sides to that coin. Two sides, because it could be that, right? But then they could get married at a young age. I forgot who said they knew
Like
somebody
21, right?
at 21, and it fits
People
in the image.
change,
It
bro,
fits in
like,
the image
yeah.
at 21. Oh, I met the girl of my dreams, quote unquote, and I'm fucking 20. You don't know shit about life at fucking 20. You barely know how to fuck at that age.
Maybe
And-
speak for yourself. Speak
man.
for yourself. nigga.
I was stroking to the left. I didn't know you had to do it down the middle.
But like I said, when I look at guys that get married and they're not faithful, like the guy that one of my friends, he's married. He married his best friend from high school, and he's cheating on her with somebody at my job.
So do you think that? Do you think?
Put him out there. Say his name.
So it's just like, damn.
You say call him out.
It makes me not want to get
What's
married.
his IG? What's his IG? You done said this shit.
Nah, I can't.
Where you work
Mention
at?
shit. Allegedly, black men don't cheat. By
Black
the way.
men definitely don't
Oh,
cheat.
no. Yeah, that's another whole nother conversation.
Just a misunderstanding.
But no, but that basically goes to, I mean, for her friend's example, that all right, he got married at 21 and he wasn't ready to give up his friends. He wasn't ready to give up all of this shit that went to. Now, I mean, and that's the same thing. I mean, at 21 to 31 to 40, you just don't know.
It's just
So,
niggas
like,
need to realize it's no way to lead a perfect life. There's no right time to get married. There's no fucking right time to have a baby or be in a relationship. Nigga, you got to figure out what's best for you.
But I think a lot of women think that marriage is
the end all be all. You're right.
no, not the end all. I mean, well, the end all be all, but is the wedding day. They think getting married is just a wedding, but there's a life after that.
Mm-hmm.
Like they do it for that one day. And then you don't think there's a whole, relationship after that. It's a lifetime thing after that.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you can still have that type of relationship with, your significant other without the paperwork and
So,
you know what I'm saying? And also,
relationships,
I mean, just to speak on other parts of that statement about men losing their individuality and their friends, because I know a lot of women can be controlling in a in a marriage too. I have guests that come into the hotel, them dudes be like beaten down, like you know what I'm saying, like a shell of themselves.
Niggas won't check in without his wife.
It's real shit. It's real shit.
I'm gonna wait till she get in here.
Right, exactly. Like,
I'm
you mind if I
gonna wait till she get in here.
exactly. I'm like, can I do this?
Damn,
Like,
yo.
you gotta ask my wife.
Yo.
You're like, I normally don't complain, but my wife is. She wanna. It's her.
Like,
It's
she
my
got your
wife.
balls
Like
in the
these
back and
niggas.
shit.
I'm like,
Like,
yo,
yo.
these niggas
They
is
just
not
trying
the
to
same.
please her.
That's the
I mean,
problem.
that's
Because
exactly-
That's
if
what
she
you're
ain't
supposed
pleased,
to
she
do.
coming
No,
for
you
his
gotta
pockets.
realize you have to know your partner. You gotta take the ups and downs with your partner. Like I know with me it comes, a certain level of shit that comes like with me, and with me it's take it or leave it. You have to know that your partner is not perfect. So if you commit yourself to that perfect, that person, you have to know their flaws and know that they're not perfect. So you can't just go in and get married like, oh, this is the perfect.
I don't
Fucking
know, man.
idealistic thing, and
Alright,
then
y'all
fucking
get
just,
married.
huh?
Alright,
With
y'all
everything
get
that I
married. You
said,
heard me.
I mean, with everything that I said, I do plan on getting married. I do want
Cat
to get
Williams,
married.
what
but
Cat Williams real quick?
What the hell you talking about?
See, my thing is, I think that I will get married, but I'm one of those people that I'm probably gonna get married 35, 40, just because.
He
Ain't
got
that far off,
HPV.
nigga.
He got HPV and he couldn't get rid of it.
The fuck are you talking about?
Oh, no.
All right, but nah, I will wait. I mean, the only reason why I will wait that late is one, because I want to make sure I get all this shit out.
Yeah.
That's first and foremost. Because, like, I mean, I thought about it. Like, if I would have got married at 21, I am completely different from who I was from 20. The what I'm attracted to, what I like, who I am as a person is completely different at 21. So I couldn't imagine being with somebody at 21, getting married to him at 28. I'm looking at him like, I don't even fucking like you no more. You know what I'm saying? Like,
different person.
Yeah.
right, I'm a completely different person. And then also, besides the fact I want to get all my shit out, to 35, 40 is when you kind of realize who you are. You don't give a fuck about what people think about you no more. You just kind of, you are who you are at 35. And then 3, like, after that, you don't, as far as the friends part, the shit like that, at 35, all them niggas you was with in high school gone, first and foremost. So you basically have your core friends. You're right.
They dead.
I mean,
Right, I was about to say,
Only if you live in Baltimore, nigga. Only if you live in Baltimore. If you Baltimore, they probably dead.
but no, I mean the core people that's around you, the people that is actually going to be that
Right,
are
right.
that are your
Like,
true
you have
friends.
your friends, like, you
yeah, I
figure
mean
them
like
out.
the niggas that I was hanging out with in 21, them niggas ain't around me no more. You know what I'm saying? So
You know
at
we're
30
getting recorded right now.
I don't give
They
a fuck.
probably
They don't
watching.
listen to me. That's the problem. So,
That's very true.
So
Call them out, man. Call all them niggas out.
Yeah,
35, you have the people that are around you. You have your finances straight, and then at that time when you are getting married, the woman should be the same way. She should have her shit together. She should know what she want, and I think it just clicks better when you guys are both at a stage in your life where you are ready to commit.
Like you're
and move
mature.
to the- Yeah, you're mature.
Yeah,
exactly.
but can you do that without marriage? Is
Yeah,
that
you
can't do that
is it
without-
like the social norm?
Because every part of that.
Is that when you're in a relationship for a certain amount of time, wear the ring. Wear the ring. Yeah, the baby wears the ring. So, I mean, there are relationships that can be had without a ring. You know what I'm saying? Even if you meet your soulmate, like, why do you have to go through the court system
I think
to,
I think
acknowledge
because
that?
I think it's
Legitimize
because
your
legitimize your
relationship.
relationship. Exactly.
I think it's because there's hoes out here that will fuck a nigga that's in a relationship but won't fucking marry man.
Who cares? It's up to the man to turn the pussy down. What the fuck
That's
the hoes got to
facts.
do with it?
Well, I think a woman feels better about that.
So if
What,
a nigga,
fucking a nigga
you
that's
act
got a
like
boyfriend?
married men don't- you act- First of all, you act like married men don't cheat.
Married men
don't
cheat.
cheat.
That's
Have you been down the
I
block?
just
did we not just talk about Jay-Z and Beyonce? The whole album was about the nigga apologizing for cheating. So
Becky-
it don't
Becky-
matter. The ring doesn't
Yo,
matter.
he had to make an
gotta-
album that's an hour long over one bitch.
Right.
Can you
Could be
imagine?
multiple bitches, but
Don't call Bay a bitch.
No.
Watch your mouth.
nigga, you on a roll today, man.
I know, right?
That's some shit.
He
I
feel
call
like
be a bitch.
drank
age
that Uncle
matters,
Ruckus juice.
Like
know.
young, when you're young, you
Right.
shouldn't get married as young. But my dad is 47 years old, and he is the biggest thought in New Jersey. Like, it's sad.
At 47?
Some
Yes.
I mean, some niggas can't get. I mean, some niggas.
Yeah, some people just don't
can't
mature.
Get, some
Yeah.
people just don't mature. Some people don't give up that life and shit. But
I don't think you can judge a long-term relationship as opposed to people not getting married. Like, you can't judge that.
But he been with her since they was in high school.
Shit.
thanks, Mike.
That's definitely a mistake.
Right.
Mike is not on it today.
All right, but I guess the consensus is, you know, when it comes to marriage, just yes or no, do you think that it's more of the man giving up his freedom to appease his girlfriend or his wife, or is it should at the end of the day be,
I think so. I mean, just to wrap it all up, I think that more men will settle for a marriage just to appease the woman versus I want to get married. Men can go their whole lives without getting married. Women, I think, more so want to be married more than men do.
It solidifies the relationship. It solidifies that this
For
guy
a
that I'm
woman,
dating- yeah, this
because
guy-
that's what they've been, raised to, to
I mean,
achieve.
we've been
Is to
taught
have-
that too.
right.
If they've been taught that, and we've been taught that, right?
No, I haven't. No.
I mean, I think that way. I used to think that way, but
Right.
now it's like I'm not. I
Yeah,
said I'm
women,
not getting
like, I
married.
have to get
Somebody
married. I have to
come
get my
along and
career.
change my mind.
Right, I have to have my career, get married, have kids, type of stuff. I don't think men on their a list of life goals, marriage is on there.
Yeah, it's not.
So that's what I think. So I think you can. It works either way. But I don't think men strive for marriage.
So you said, and Sade, you said, what?
I said I'm not getting married.
Okay.
She ain't getting married. Fuck
Yeah,
it.
I'm not. I just feel like since I gave my whole life to a man, whether we have kids or not, it's just like, and you cheat. That's my main thing. Like just breaking our vows and not staying committed.
Right.
And you disrespect me, so it's not safe for me. Just me as Sade getting married, because I'll probably be done killed him and the kids. So I just can't. I can't.
I think you just need to stop looking for a marriage license to legitimize your relationship.
That's
That's
facts.
it.
Right,
That's it.
right. I think anything that's like man-made, as far as marriage, and this is the name that we're gonna give it. This,
Yeah.
all, I think it's all bullshit. Follow how you feel.
Yeah.
Be with somebody until you love them to death, until you die. If that's what
Like,
you want to do,
if
do
she
it.
out there thotting,
Yeah, she
when
out-
I put this ring on her, she gonna be good after
Nah,
that.
she's
No,
still a hoe, nigga.
Yeah,
She
if
still
you
got
and
them
if he
bodies
out
and
there
shit.
fucking hoes, like, when I put the ring on him, he gonna stop hoeing. No, dude, you gotta.
Right.
That
So,
fucking ring doesn't mean anything.
kind of sad news. Another huge story, and it's kind of hits close to home to me too. So, the rapper XXXTENTACION. Did I say that right?
Tentacion.
Tentacion.
I thought it was triple X.
No, it's XXX.
Yeah, it's
Triple X Tentacion.
No, it's XXX. But whatever.
well, he passed not too long ago. A few days ago.
It's like Monday.
Monday, yeah, and it was tough just because listening to his music, I started listening to him. I want to say like a year or so before the 17 album came out, and a lot of things that he was talking about was depression, getting through depression, relationship shit where it gets taken to a whole nother level where you really love the person, you don't know what to do. But he was killed, and one of the tough things about it is, one, it's kind of like when you listen back to his music, he kind of predicted his own death, which is fucking wild. And I think that's why a lot of people compare him to Tupac, because he kind of predicted how he would die and the way he would die.
One thing
and
I'm
stuff
sad
like that.
one thing I'm sad about is because you never got to see that to its full potential.
Yeah.
He's
right.
only 20, dude. He's fucking 20 years old. So
Right.
Pac lived till he's 25.
Right.
Pac dying at 20. What's that? Fucking poetic justice or some shit like that, or that age is like a full realm of music. So I get that it's like comparisons to Pac because he has that music that makes you feel something,
Right.
and it's just terrible that it.
Yeah, he definitely
20
connected
years
with
old,
a lot of people. Yeah, I felt like I mean he's definitely cut too short. Like the potential was limitless. Like he was just coming into his own. Especially with the I don't know how you pronounce it, the question mark album. You know how you say it, but I mean it went #1, so he was on the rise. Music was dope, and his life got cut short like that before he really reached his full potential. I felt like honestly with his content and his melodies, he was like another kind of Cudi, like a young Cudi.
Right.
I think Cudi more than Pac, right?
Yeah, I mean I don't think anybody compared him to Pac. Like Austin said it because he would rap about his own death. His mortality and stuff like that. But as far as content and melodies and stuff like that, he was definitely more. He was closer to Cudi than
because
anything.
he knew he had depression, like Cudi has depression,
right?
And it's more and music is an outlet for him as opposed to Pac, which is like completely different from that.
Yeah, and he was a super positive dude. Like even the day he was killed on Monday. That weekend he's supposed to have a charity event in Florida, and he was killed. I know a lot of people kind of bash him for the assault that he had on his girlfriend, which is a shitty thing to do. I didn't agree with it at all, and I think when it first came out, I think it was shitty. But he's 20 years old, and I think he was learning from that, and he was turning a new leaf on his life, and for it to be cut short so petty for over a robbery.
And it seems like what details coming out now is the robbery is random.
Oh no, it was random, but it was like over a designer bag.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
it's
saying?
all Louis V.
And that's crazy.
Off that,
right? And
that's fucking.
But
yeah.
I mean, the point of it too is being 20 years old, and you go down a long list. If you look at the most impactful people in the world, Malcolm X, Maya Angelou, and stuff like that.
Martin Luther King at 20.
Yeah, they were doing some shit that wasn't legal, that was probably wrong at their 20s, but they transitioned to be impactful people.
Right.
So,
like you were saying before in the marriage thing, you not who you are at 20 and 21. Like,
right.
Yeah, and even at 20, when he committed those acts,
He was like 18 when he
Exactly.
did those acts. Right.
So,
and the girl he was from his assault, his ex-girlfriend has came out and said that people who are bashing him for his death and like is a good thing. Like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? That's
people
terrible.
just trolling just to troll, man, just to get likes and retweets and all that shit. But like Austin was saying, Malcolm X wasn't Malcolm X at 20.
No,
Maya Angelou
he
wasn't
was
Maya
not.
Angelou at 20. She was still a prostitute. Malcolm X was still in a gang, and he was still a thief.
And Martin Luther King was just a preacher in
right.
a fucking.
So it's just sad all the way around, man, because he had a lot more to give to the rap game. Like,
right. And it's like I said, it sucks. But what we're seeing from this is that one, it was impactful because you see so many people now coming out and saying, just like what Cudi did with our generation, in a time right now where depression is at its highest level. You know what I'm saying? Like never before. To have an artist that talks about it, even with like Peep and shit, like who? Lil Peep.
Lil Peep.
Oh, Peep. I'm sorry.
Nigga,
Yeah, my
God
bad.
damn it.
I'm sorry.
I know you don't know Lil Peep, but I mean,
I was thinking about Tweet.
You know what Lil Peep is?
I was thinking about Tweet. You remember the girl?
I really don't even know
Oh,
who
Tweet.
Triple X.
Yeah, I was thinking about Tweet. I was like,
Tweet.
wait, what?
nigga, Tweet.
But R.I.P. people.
Women had a we ain't
Does she
gonna
work
do
at
that.
Walmart?
Come
No,
on.
that's
nigga.
fucking
All right,
A mill.
a mill.
she works at Walmart.
Yeah, it was a little Instagram shot.
All right, so we want to try and squeeze this. We got a quick game coming in.
fuck.
It's called Confessions. Basically, what it is,
These are my
we're gonna
confessions.
ask a question.
So they got some confession
Nah.
cards for us.
I'm gonna let y'all handle that.
So we have to read it and ask each other? Wait, what? What is
All right,
this?
so
That's
the
what-
game is confession.
Oh,
Describe
with
the
the
game
whole
to the people,
So
right?
so we asked the question. Well, she
Charlie, you
asked the
can-
question. So we asked the questions, and we got to make up the story whether or not, we say, hey, this is what I did back in the day, depending on what the question says, and we got to try to guess if you're lying or telling the truth.
So she asked the question.
No, it's
You
like
pick the card,
finishing it.
right? You pick the
Okay.
card. You read the question, and we got to say whether you're telling the truth or lying, and if we're right, right, and then you got to explain whether you're lying or not. Or if
Oh,
it's true.
okay.
I'ma let-
I go first?
Yeah, you
Fuck,
go
man.
first.
All right. If I had to choose between money or power, I'd choose money. That's
Nah, do the.
Yeah,
right.
So do we hold
Some
up?
of them be.
Do we hold up the answer?
Yeah, you say whether or not you think it's a true or a lie. Nah. This was a good one.
Was it?
Yes.
It said the most embarrassing moment of my life. Okay. I mean, for the most embarrassing moment of my life I can think of right off the top was the first time I got whiskey dick. It is the most
Well,
bullshit.
nigga, can you
Oh,
let
I
us
didn't.
guess before you tell us that? Well, I guess that is the truth.
It's the truth. I'm telling y'all off top.
Right,
It's the
go
truth.
Right. All right, go ahead.
That shit
I'm
is sad.
Yo, that shit is the worst shit
That
ever.
shit is the what?
Well, go and explain the first time you got whiskey.
Real quick. First
'cause
time I
we
got whiskey
we
dick, I was with a
time.
girl.
Oh, so we pluck one and just tell the experience.
I mean, as we
associated
pluck it.
with
All right, real
There
quick.
you go.
I got whiskey dick. Shit never happened before. It's when whiskey dick is two things. Either when your dick don't go down or
Or
when that shit don't
go-
ever go up.
Exactly.
I was
Yeah, I
the
was about to say,
latter.
what
It
is
just
it? It's a
never
delicate
went
battle.
up.
You never heard of whiskey dick before?
And I-
What?
and I-
Is that a
nice.
Baltimore thing?
No,
No,
fuck
that's
no.
everywhere.
That's a
All
man.
I never heard
Real,
that
real
before.
quick. All right,
Explain whiskey dick.
So like I said, is whiskey dick is if your shit. Some people have henny dick. I mean, your shit don't
Henny
ever
dick
go
is
down.
bad,
Your
yeah.
shit is concrete, rock solid.
Fuck all night.
And it could be
Go ahead.
it could be your shit never
the
go.
opposite side of that
Your
coin
shit
is
never goes up, and y'all looking at each other like, what the fuck is going
shit
on?
has never happened
Right.
before, man.
I think I said that before. Like, this shit never happened before. It really never happened before. I'm like, what the fuck is going on with my dick? I was disappointed. I went in the bathroom. We had a pep talk. Man. I had to-
Right.
I had
So
to
wait,
beat
would you
on
put
him a
that
couple
on the female or the male?
Women take it personally, like they think it's them because you know erection is based off arousal. So
Yeah.
if I'm not getting up, they're like, well, I must be ugly or I'm fat, and they take
Yeah.
it personally. And it's really me. Like I can't feel
question.
shit.
But
I'm drunk as fuck.
Bridging off that, like, so in a relationship, right? When a guy wants to have sex, right, and his girl's tired, cool, she tired. But when a girl wants to have sex and I didn't work 12 hours in the turnaround and shit, I don't find her attractive. What is that?
I don't know
Sade?
what the fuck you just said, but look.
Wait, say that
We gotta
again.
get to the other cards.
All right, let's go to
Let's
come
go
back
to
to
the
that.
cards. Fuck it.
The meanest thing
This
I've
nigga
ever.
can't read.
All right. The meanest thing I've ever done to get back at someone.
And you a petty nigga too.
No,
That
not
shit
petty. Not petty than me.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to. I think the meanest thing that I've ever done to get back at someone. Oh, I remember. So me and Jamel was pissed off at each other one time we was growing
my
up and
God.
shit.
Oh yeah, this is true.
Right.
You already saying.
I think what I did was I put his, because we used to, we was poor as shit, so we used to share a room, and his clothes would be on one side, my clothes would be on the other side. I think I took deodorant and the antiperspirant shit that don't come out in the wash and shit that fuck it up, and I just smeared it all over his shit.
What?
No, I think the pettiest thing you ever done was you broke the rear view mirror in my car and then lied about it.
Oh yeah, I fucked this car up. Nah, you
Fuck
right.
my car,
you
let him
right.
drive my car down.
Oh, what
shit.
happened?
All right,
What
so
happened?
he let me.
What
all right,
happened?
hold on.
What happened?
I didn't have I forgot about that shit. So I didn't have my license or whatever, and I don't know why, but I think Jamel was driving
Bro,
my
niggas
car,
driving no license.
and I had to follow him and shit. And he left, so I was like, all right, fuck it. I couldn't really drive like that, so I ran his shit up a curb. Nigga, I was like on top of the curb with his lane, and I hit that shit so hard, bruh. His rearview mirror broke.
That's how hard
Like,
he hit the curb.
Nigga, I was going
And
like,
he lied and try to act like he didn't know what happened. Oh, it just fell.
it was an old ass fucking Lincoln, nigga.
That's
You
a
could
stinking
shit
Lincoln.
fall
Yo,
out.
your Lincoln was terrible, yo.
Right.
You
so,
rode in that bitch. Fuck you.
damn
so that
right
was
I did.
probably the meanest thing that I've ever done. Mike, gonna pass it up to you because we
shit.
running in time. And Sade don't think you getting out of this shit.
Nah,
Like,
I don't want no car. I'm good.
Oh, you
If I
definitely
could
in the
cure
car.
one thing in the world,
you
I'd
can
cure.
switch it up.
That's
Fuck that
trash.
shit.
No,
Yeah.
fuck that. I cure cancer because too many people die from cancer. Next question.
I guess that's true.
Mike with the
True
PG
story.
ass.
You damn right,
question,
nigga. How many
Damn.
fucking X-rated questions I had tonight?
None, nigga. We just
None.
started again. You might have to go into
The
the
best
podcast.
compliment I ever received was, "Girl, I drink your bath water."
Ew.
That's a nasty
That
ass.
shit
shit.
don't fuck you up as
Yeah,
a
it
woman.
was-
As
yeah.
a woman, does
It was
that
a little
fuck you up?
disturbing, but that's
why-
I really did hear that.
Why is that? Well, no,
Well, you never
no,
saw The Color Purple?
No.
I didn't see it.
Never.
The color-
I saw
What would be
snippets.
the best comment that you think you could receive? What could a guy say to you that would be a great comment, a compliment?
I don't know. Depending on how long we known each other, I would say
Oh, a guy
They
off the
accept
street.
my flaws.
A guy off the street.
A
Random
guy
guy.
off the street.
Yeah, just trying to holler at you, trying to compliment you. What
Well,
can he
one
say to
time
you?
I was walking, just walked past a guy, walked past him again. He said, "You have pretty feet." That kind of was awkward, but
That might
that a
that might have been
thing,
Mike.
feet?
That might have been
I
Mike.
don't know.
He
He
likes
maybe had a
feet.
foot fetish. I don't know. But
he definitely
that
had a
was
foot
weird.
fetish.
Yeah, the first thing I'm looking at is not feet, nigga. Like I've seen too many
What's the
fucked
feet
up feet.
thing?
You never sucked
What's
toes
the feet
before,
thing?
nigga?
I've never sucked a toe before. in my
All right.
life.
Grow
Austin,
up. Grow
Austin
up.
has you
Grow
suck
up.
toes, yo.
You never put a big toe in your mouth?
You a nasty ass nigga.
Grow
man.
up.
So do you look
Niggas
into
don't
clean your
experiment no
toes,
more?
you shit?
No, nigga.
You never put a big toe in your mouth?
I'm assuming that you
nigga.
did.
I sucked the toe. I sucked toes before.
How many toes you suck?
All right.
Like pairs of toes? Like
Do you lick the heel?
no, I don't.
All right, well,
Let's get that to
yeah, all right, so that wraps up episode 13. I wish we could have got more. I'm gonna have to definitely steal that game, but I wish we could have talked more. But that wraps up episode 13 of the Hunt Club podcast. Again, man, follow us. I don't know.
At Hunt Club 410
Hunt Club 410. That's
on Twitter, on Instagram,
on Snapchat, Facebook. Check us out on Facebook, fucking
Hunt Club podcast.
Sound Club, everywhere. We're
Hell
everywhere.
yeah, fuck that. We're everywhere. Sade, you want to drop your IG?
Well, I'm an artist. My artist name is Azori, so you can follow me at _Amaya Azori on
Okay.
Instagram.
Any outro?
Nah.
I got an outro.
1, 2, 3. Hey yo, fuck y'all, let's get it. That's not it. Fuck y'all, we out.
Oh, that's not the same.
Mike, get drunk. You need to go home.
That nigga really called you a nigger, man. I'm like, God, we gotta go back on that shit.
Cut that out.
I'm not cutting it out.